What do I like about Lakland's, or this one in particular? Well, this bass is really, it's kind of, it's so deep. I mean, this thing has got so many possible sounds. First of all, these pickups are humbuckers, but there's a coil tap, so I can go single coil. I'll give you a quick demo of this stuff here. It goes active or passive, so, you know, there's double, excuse me, all the sounds. So, you know, I got the 3-band preamp, the LH3 preamp. And this one has a passive tone control on it. So there's two humbuckers. Right now, single coil. Everything's flat. I kind of like the single coil sound for slap because it's a little more open, very scoopy. And I tend to, one thing I'll say is this particular bass is it's not a super bright bass. In fact, really, to me, this bass sounds best with flat wounds, but it's got such a nice slap tone, you know, I kind of want to bring that out, especially, you know, when you're doing a clinic, you got to slap. I mean, you know, how can you be a bass superhero if you don't slap? Even though it exists only in that fictitious realm of the bass hero, it's the only time, you know, you go to the NAMM show or you go to a bass hero con. I never slap on a gig. I mean, it doesn't happen. I mean, not for me anyway. I think especially Austin, you know, start slapping at, boy, what you doing, boy? That ain't country music. That ain't no way to treat a bass. Yeah. No, but anyway, so, you know, I tend to run the treble full out when I'm slapping. It's got a really unique slap tone. It doesn't sound like any. It doesn't sound like a Fender, it doesn't sound like a Music Man, it's just, I don't know, I think I love that tone, so, you know. So I really dig that on this bass, particularly.
Ed, is that an ash body?
You know, damn if I know.
That's the usual. That's the usual wood on these. But
you trying to make an ash out of him?
I don't know if it's ash. You know, I don't remember what we said. You know, it probably is. That's what they typically make the U.S. stuff out of. You know, in humbucker mode, there's so much energy. These pickups are really hot, and so it sounds real nice there too. It tends to thicken up a lot in the middle. So I don't usually do a lot of slapping in humbucker mode. I'll tend to solo more. I'll go to humbucker mode and go to the back pickup. It's sort of got a little high-end sibilance on it. And one modification we did with this, it came with a passive tone control. But I still felt like the bass was just too dark, so I brought this over to Ed Reynolds, who many of you Lakeland aficionados might remember. Ed Reynolds was kind of the guy who did the prototype Lakeland basses, excuse me, way back, and kind of is the guy, like the mentor for Carl and the crew at Lakeland. He lives out here in Austin, and he's very close to my house, actually, and so I brought it to him, and he examined it, and he said, you know, you need a different kind of tone control. So this particular passive tone control, it's special. From 0 to 5, it operates like a plain, regular passive tone control. But then when you go above the detente in the center, or is it detent? I don't know. Anyway, it takes it completely out of the circuit, which is kind of what this needed to open it up. So that's been real helpful. And I've been messing with, you know, like on the LH3, there's the preamp. For those of you who are not Lakeland geekheads, the preamp has preset mid-frequencies. And, you know, I've been messing with different ones. I used to have the low mid, the you know, kind of boosted on this one. But I just found, you know, this bass is already pretty dark, so I'm actually now kind of experimenting with the highest, which I think is 1K.
Do you know, Doug?
The highest.
I think 1K sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it's about the highest mid frequency. So just to give it a little more cut, you know, especially when I'm layering all these different tracks of one instrument, you know, the trick is getting each layer to have some kind of distinct character and cut through so you can hear, you know, I mean, you lay down this thick, soupy stuff and then you start trying to play over it and it's like, what is he doing? It just sounds like mud. So I'm doing that now with this and it seems to be working pretty well. And then, of course, passive mode, you know, well, let's boost that. I mean, that's passive mode. And that's single coil, bolt pickups. Front pickup. That bridge pickup. Kind of my fake Jocko lick. Humbucking, you know, front pickup. I mean, that's massive. That's why with flat wounds, it's basically just like, you know, it'll flatten a city block with it. Both pickups in passive. Just the bridge. So, I mean, this bass, you know, half the deal is just like figuring out what you want to use because they're all good, all the sounds you can get, and there's so many choices. It's, you know, pretty complex, I think, you know, it took me a while to, you know, get used to all the things that it can do. But it's a great bass, and it plays awesome. And right now I've been using the Dario Super Bright, the stainless steel, the EPS 190s, a light gauge, 40 to 100, because this bass just seems to respond to a lower tension setup. I put, you know, a normal set on, it was like, you know, it was a little stiff. And the thing with this particular string, I've got a detuner on here. I'd asked for it. Dan forgot to put it on there, so I said, Dan, you forgot the detuner. So he sent me one, but sorry, allergies. He sent me the wrong one. This is like a long. You can see it's like a long shaft, and it's a reverse wind. It was probably from one of the vintage, you know, models with the reverse. So I have to remember. Oh no, why is it not getting sharp? Oh, it's going the wrong way. But I do a lot of stuff in low C, and in fact, this is a 100 E string, and man, it's like pretty nasty. I mean. And I put a bigger E string on, it was like, it didn't sound as good, so that's what I did. And it's a really cool bass.